Works. Welcome everybody to Butterfly Spirit Drumming. We have the amazing Jen, and she will introduce herself after I'm done my little short spiel. We are happy that Grandmother Voice hosts us, and we like to share our gifts of Native American songs with drumming, with the rattle, and we figured it was really important to not take the time off right now because during these holidays, sometimes it's not the easiest time for everybody, including myself. So we just like to bring in a little bit of peace and love and joy and teachings for all of you guys. We're really happy that you guys are here. Jen is going to open up with the Thanksgiving address, and I just wanted to give you a little bit about my background. So my name is Josephine LaValle, and I am Onondaga from Six Nations and Turtle Clan. My native name is Gagaista. I'm a certified yoga teacher, Reiki master, and Qigong instructor. And through those practices, working with energy and drumming, I've helped to clear out a lot of stagnant energy and been on a healing journey for a while, which I like to say growing. We're all in a growing journey. And I'll just give it over to Jen.
Thank you. Annie Bajo. Hi, everyone. My name is Jen. My spirit name is Nimki Kwe, Thunder Woman. My family comes from Matagami First Nation in Treaty 9 territory and near Timmins, Ontario. And I have Anishinaabe, Scottish, and French heritage. And I am honored to share this platform with Josie. And again, big miigwech to Grandmother's Voice and Jody for supporting us. And just welcome everyone on this beautiful winter solstice, the longest night of the year. So it's always important that we start with gratitude, and we usually do that. And I'm reading again from one of my favorite books called Braiding Sweetgrass. And if you still need a gift for any young adults in your life, or really any adults in your life, I love this version of Braiding Sweetgrass. It's the Robin Wall Kimmerer book that I'm sure many of you have heard of, but I find the text in her original book to be quite heavy at times. And I love this book, and I would highly recommend it for families to read through, for yourself personally, and if you have any teenagers in your life, young adults. So the Haudenosaunee Thanksgiving address is here and beautifully illustrated as well. And it was adapted by a Canadian author named Monique Gray Smith, who's a children's author, an Indigenous children's author here in Canada. And she did such a great job. So the Haudenosaunee Thanksgiving address. Let us bring our minds together as one as we send greetings and thanks to each other as people. In these gathered faces, we see that the cycles of life continue. Our Mother, the Earth, for she gives us everything that we need for life. Let us bring our minds together as one as we send greetings and thanks to the waters of the world that nurture life for all beings and all the fish life in the water. Let us bring our minds together as one as we send greetings and thanks to the vast fields of plant life, the berries, the trees, and the medicine herbs of the world. Let us bring our minds together as one as we send greetings and thanks to the edible plants we harvest from the garden, especially the Three Sisters. Let us bring our minds together as one as we send greetings and thanks to the beautiful animal life of the world and all the birds who move and fly above our heads. Let us bring our minds together as one as we send greetings and thanks to the powers we know as the four winds, who purify the air we breathe and help to bring the change of seasons. Let us bring our minds together as one as we send greetings and thanks to our grandfathers, the thunder beings, who live in the west with their lightning and thundering voices. Let us bring our minds together as one as we send greetings and thanks to our eldest brother, the sun, our oldest grandmother, the moon, and the stars who are spread across the sky like jewelry. Let us bring our minds together as one as we send greetings and thanks to the enlightened teachers who have come to help throughout the ages. Let us bring our minds together as one as we send greetings and thanks to, we now turn our thoughts to Creator, our great spirit, and send greetings and thanks for all the gifts of creation. And now our minds are one. And I think, Josie, you were saying that you wanted one of the things that we talked about tonight was creator and creation. And, right?
Yes, I wanted to talk about creation in whatever sense we just feel, not actually the creator, great mystery, God, Jesus, but just the word creation was what came to me. So if you wanted to go first and talk about the solstice, or I can go first, it doesn't matter.
You can go ahead.
Okay. So part of the reason why I wanted to talk about creation was not to discount what's going on right now energetically, because a lot of empaths can feel the collective energy. And when you have this time of the year with the holidays, as fun and festive as that is, it's also extremely triggering and depressing and hard for some people. And I'm speaking from a personal standpoint, and thank you for the sage as well. So when we think of, we'll say death, for example, it's like a heavier grief for myself and for a lot of people that I know. So it's like, oh, we just can't wait for the holidays to be done. And then other people are like into the spirit of it, and that's great and that's fine. But when you have like being an empath and you can feel the energy of another person, their deep sadness and grief, it's not that I want to discount it. I want to acknowledge that, but I also want to like help realize that death is a part of life. So from the minute that we're born, we're already on our way to death. Not to sound depressing, but death is a part of life. So I thought, rather than talking about, I don't want to say shitty, even though I just said that, the energies that are out there are very intense. And when we were talking 2 weeks ago about driving, for example, it's like some people have just like lost their minds for a little bit, and there's like an anxious energy out there. So when we're all connected energetically and you have like a flow of traffic all on their way to go shopping and get those last minute gifts, they forget how to be in balance and harmony with themselves and with each other. So they'll cut each other off and stuff like that because they're not thinking clearly. So that's why it's a good idea, I thought, to talk about creation, just to kind of like put that on the back burner for now about grieving, because we can still sing a song about grieving, or we can help shift our energy and appreciate the ones that are here. So not to discount how people are feeling, but definitely feel it. And when we talked about navigating our emotions, for example, if you feel like crying, you don't have to like not cry. If somebody says, oh, that happened a long time ago, or, you know, oh, get into the Christmas spirit, or, oh, you're a parent, and, oh, you've got all this family. It doesn't matter, because it's like grief never goes away. It's always there. And sometimes it'll hit you like a freight train. And this time of year is very triggering for some people. And then you get less sun, so you're not getting that serotonin and that vitamin D and such. So with creation, I wanted to talk about that, because when we realize how beautiful life is, even though it being the solstice and the first day of winter, and Mother Earth is taking that break, and the trees are resting, and the leaves, you know, they're still falling off, and the snow is here in some parts. It's a beautiful time to talk about creation, because when we are looking around, say we're driving to work in the morning or wherever, we look at these trees, even though they're sleeping right now and they're dormant, that's creation. You are creation. Your children are created from us and our partner. this drum was created. This particular one I didn't make, but this was once a deer. That was creation. The wood in it is creation. This cup, even though it's a cup, it's ceramic. That's creation. So when you think of everything, it started with a thought and it was creation. So let's go a little bit deeper. When the pandemic happened and we all went through this in our own individual way, and it was not the same for everybody. It was not a one size fits all medical treatment that's controversial. It's a time of beauty and creation. And what Grandmother Renee said is that even though we weren't able, like some of us still gathered and went by our treaties and stuff, did stuff like that. Some people, went by the rules and complied and, stayed in their own little, bubble and stuff. But it caused a lot of damage, of isolation and mental illness and suicide. So these are the after effects that we have to deal with. And it's time to start having these conversations. So when I talk about creation, I'm talking about creating a better new world in many different ways. So for you being a music teacher, you're creating every single day, every single week with new children all the time. And even when somebody doesn't sing the song, whatever song that is, and they're singing something different, it's not actually wrong. And you know that because your heart energy is open. So even right now, as my words, we're creating. And as people are listening, they're like, I want to create a song. I want to create a band. I want to write a book. I want to start a YouTube channel. That's the creation of it all. It's just so beautiful. So this is just the way I roll. I just kind of just go with the flow. So creation of new ways of being. So what we need to do is we need to create talking circles. And that was something that Sherry and I did in the pandemic. And she has participated in many circles and she taught me a lot. So we started to gather and we had this place where we could have a fire. And we started off with, I don't have my eagle feather on me right now. It's in the car, but we'll just use my rattle as the eagle feather. So I would say, my name is Josephine. I'm from wherever. And I would just say what I'm grateful for. But if we had a theme, we'll just say joy was the theme. That's what came to me, or that's what somebody said, or that was my intuition. So joy for me would be dancing. Dance like nobody's watching. It makes me feel good. And then the next person, hi, I'm Mary. I'm happy to be here. The sun is shining. I'm grateful for the fire. I'm going through a hard time right now with a divorce. And then she would, maybe vent for a minute. And then she would talk about joy. Maybe her children bring her joy, or her dog as her support, because those animals are our emotional support. So Grandmother Renee had said that even though the pandemic was very hard on a lot of people, the collective needed a break. You're going 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. You're getting that fast food for that instant gratification because you're too tired to cook. And then you're back, some people spend their weekends drinking. There's a lot of different programs out there. So it's time to really just sit down and just talk, and whatever that turns out to be. And when you're holding that eagle feather, that person is the only one that talks, and people aren't on their phones. They're looking in their eyes, or they're listening to the person. So when I talked about creation, that's what I meant, was new ways of being, new ways of creating from the bottom up. Government too, because we know sometimes they don't have our best interests. And with the cost of food and living right now, what are some temporary solutions? Healing ourselves and maybe sharing accommodations until we can figure it out. So we all have a big job, but collectively we're all going to play our part. somebody's going to be a gardener, somebody's going to be a healer. So that's pretty deep and intense. So when I talk about creation, I'm just basically talking about creating circles. Create some sharing circles in your home. This in itself is a sharing circle. I don't know if you want to put the chat up, but if anybody has questions, this is brainstorming. We can talk about anything in these circles. There's no advice. There's no judgment. It's just accepting everybody for where they're at. And we're all at different levels, right? Nobody's better. Nobody's above or below. So creation, it's time to create. That's all I wanted to talk about, which is kind of big, but that was like the gist of it.
I love that, Josephine. And I really like what you said at the end about there's no judgment. And also, I think sometimes the most important gift we can give people is just to listen. And I think a lot of the times as listeners, we think that people want solutions. Right. Some people think that they like, depending on your situation, sometimes you're just talking to talk. You're not looking for a solution.
I love that, Jen.
Looking for even advice. You just want someone to listen to you.
Yes.
To validate you.
Yes. To see you.
To see you and say, yes. And even if they don't agree, just to say, I hear that.
Yeah.
And then give you something back. It doesn't have to challenge you.
I love that.
It can just be a different opinion and you can have your thoughts. I have mine and we just share them. And I think that sharing circles are so important. And I think that you kind of get onto the idea of we need to create our own communities and we need to create the world that we want to be in. Because we can keep being in the world of Costco sales and you know what the latest thing is. And like you said, rushing around for those Christmas gifts. Yeah. Or we can lean into a different energy, right? We can create something different. We can create different connections with our friends and with our families. I think sometimes it can be hard because in my own circles, sometimes we get into this idea where people know us as something. Yeah. Right. When you've been around for a long time and you always connect with people in this way, but now you want to change it. Yeah. Now, instead of having, you know, a wine night, not that that's bad. Yeah. But now instead of having drinks and just talking, now you want to create a ceremony or a ritual, right? Yeah. Maybe it's not, and I'm not talking about appropriating an indigenous ceremony. Yeah. I'm talking about creating ceremonies that are meaningful to you. Right. Mm-hmm. So say at the winter solstice, like tonight, my bestie and I, we were friends before we had children and now our children are starting to get older. And, you know, when the kids were younger, a night like tonight would have been a night where we would have gone to like a Santa village and done all the family things. And so now that our kids, we don't have that to do anymore. How are we going to connect as friends? And so I had brought up the idea, we were talking about the solstice. Mm-hmm. And we said, like, let's celebrate it together. Let's create like some new way of gathering with each other. Let's be brave and vulnerable and say these things that we want to do. So my girlfriend made a playlist on Spotify of 30 minutes long. And it had like a song with somebody singing about winter solstice, a Sarah McLachlan song, I think, at the beginning. And then it had these different, she looked up like different Yule songs and winter songs, and she put all these instrumental ones on. And then at the end, she had another, to end it, there was another song called Winter Song, I think. And so we knew at the end when we heard the voices again that it would be time to come out of our practice. And we both like yoga. So we just were silent the whole time and we just did the yoga practice that we wanted to. And most of it was like on the floor. So whether you're seated and you're a yoga teacher, so, you know, like we're not practitioners, but we've done it many times and we know what our body needs. Yes, right? And so
love that.
How can we as women start to listen to what our body wants? And why can't we sit beside our friend in front of candles? Like I had these 2 candles. She gave me some candles for my birthday a while ago. And I had 2 of them and we each lit one at the beginning. And we put our music on and we did our yoga practice for 30 minutes and set an intention that we wanted to have in the solstice. You know, this is a new energy, right? this is the time when it's the longest night of the year, but it's also the time when people would celebrate the return of the sun's energy, because now the days will grow longer from now. So as much as, people talk about winter being a time of darkness, it's also a time that at this point, the sun is coming back little by little, right? And your energy and that light inside you, we do need to conserve our resources in a way, right? If we live into the energy of Mother Earth, she's in a time of energy of reserving her energy. And so we always think about output, output, output. And like you said, like for this reason, winter is a time of rest as opposed to energetic activity. So if we can, how can we live into that? And so then we decided to do like a little crafty thing. So my girlfriend was looking up ideas, and she talked about the wreath being a symbol of around the solstice, because it represents that sun coming back. And there's so many different meanings. Hello, it's like I'm on that. What's that? There was like the mirror show from like a long time ago. There was like a little
I love it.
show where she would look in the mirror. Anyways, and she talked about how the circle to many different cultures means, there's no beginning and there's no end, the cycle of the seasons, and that we're, these different energies that we can live into each time. And so after we did our yoga and grounded ourselves and set an intention, then we started to create these little winter solstice wreaths. And I have to continue mine. And I also thought, it's something that I could build on and bring it out every year for winter solstice, and add something new each year.
I love it.
Right. And so figuring out, I think a lot of people don't know sometimes what to do when they want to honor these different natural event, like natural days, like the summer solstice, winter solstice, the equinoxes. And you don't just want to look up what Indigenous people do or what different other cultures do and appropriate them, right? That's, people are trying to do things in a good way. So creating our own ways of honoring those times. And for me, then I can look at this little wreath all winter and think, what is this energy? Like, remember that intention you said, that you were going to live into this time of recharging and reserving your energy, and not letting that hustle and bustle that capitalism and all the people want us to live into. And we're never shifting our energy. And so, and I think, like you said, in COVID, like Grandmother Renee said, that was the people needed it.
Yeah.
Right? But now we've almost forgotten some people, right? It's like the world's just picked up again.
Yeah.
And so using the energy of winter and nature to guide how we are in the world, right? It's an Indigenous way of being and knowing, because Indigenous ways, whether you're Indigenous from Ireland and you follow pagan roots, you're Indigenous to America and you follow some kind of, it's all around the cycle of nature and Mother Earth, right? So I think that's really powerful. And I think
that was so good.
It goes so well with your idea of creation and creating communities, and then sharing these ideas with other people and encouraging them, and then talking about these things and not being scared that it's woo-woo.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it is a little bit vulnerable to share these things sometimes with people.
Yeah.
You don't know where they're coming from. And people have sometimes a interesting reaction to when you share about woo-woo things, natural things that we just are not always exposed to for a reason.
Maybe. Thank you for all of that. That was powerful. I love your wreath, and I love how you honored the solstice. So yoga and movement of our body, that gentle, loving movement, and the rest. So something that I've naturally done every winter was introspection. I don't always want to be by myself. I like the social time and doing things, but for a lot of it, I just want to be in my own energy and that self-reflection and that self-awareness. And then when you get to a place of self-love and you feel that wholeness and that acceptance with yourself, it's an unconditional love for yourself, and it's powerful, but it doesn't happen overnight because we have these self-defeating thoughts and these limiting beliefs and these, we're so critical to each other sometimes. And then now that I've got to a place, then it's now, what do I do? What do I do with this? When you become empowered, you gotta like not tame it down, but it's like a horse, like a wild Mustang, and you just gotta like, you don't just want to be like, I'm empowered, everybody get empowered, and they're just like, whoa, she's full of herself, she's so self-centered, look at her. It's not like that at all. It's, I want to help people. And with the challenges that I went through, those I turn into gifts. So example, being with a narcissist, without getting deep into that, was, why did I go through that? Why did I put up with that for so long? Oh, low self-esteem, low self-worth, abandonment issues. It just goes on and on. And it's so beautiful when you recognize it for what it is. So the winter time and that introspection of being alone, because some people are like, I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be with my own thoughts. Well, that's fine. But I do. And when you get to that place, it's powerful. When you can just like sit in a bath with candles, music or no music, that silence that's deafening, and then your own intuition coming in, your ancestors, your loved ones that are passed, and that guidance, shut off that monkey brain. That's what's so beautiful about yoga and meditation. When I took the yoga teacher training, the meditation was half of that. And we had to keep a journal. And then one day it just clicked. Oh, okay, I get it. Stop thought. What? It's always going. How do you stop thought? When you're sitting at the river with the trees and you're not looking at the river like, oh, it's so beautiful, it's so glistening, oh, the trees are blowing. It's just a calmness without thinking calmness. It's just being in the moment of one with everything. So it's so beautiful. Introspection, yoga, moving your body in gentle and amazing ways. So now you've created something that doesn't even have to be on the solstice. That could be your new creation of yoga with a different theme of music. It could be peace one week, it could be joy. And then you don't need a yoga teacher. You just need to listen to your body, like you said, and you've done it long enough that you know what your limitations are. You know what feels good. You practice ahimsa, which means do no harm, So that's just beautiful. So that is creation. So you've already created something new. And when we talked about different sharing circles, not having judgment, not giving advice, and there was another thing that you said about like just that holding space for each other. We don't want solutions. That's what you said. And that's what I love, because part of my healing journey, and if I said, okay, I went through this trauma as a child or whatever, and then they're like, oh, I read this book, you should read this book, and then this will help you with this. And then, oh, you were in a bad relationship, that was codependent. They label it. And then, oh, no, just listen to me. I don't want advice. And I don't even want to hear your story. It's my space, not to sound rude. But then you realize that person is also going through their own thing. So just holding space. That's it. Because I talked to an elder one time, part of my healing journey, I talked to a few elders and let them know about different traumas that had happened. And he just listened and listened. And I don't know how long I talked for, and I looked at him, and in my mind, I'm like, is he going to say anything? Is he going to offer me any advice? I'm just like, I'm the one that's talking here. And I said, do you just listen to me and I figure out the answer for myself? Because all the knowledge is within, right, Jen? And he smiled and he didn't really say anything. And I was like, that's what you're doing. And that's exactly what you're talking about right now. It's just holding space. It's beautiful. So it is time to create those circles. And people might be thinking, well, what do I do? You have a living room? There you go. You can get a couple chairs. You can get some pillows. You can do yoga. You can have a book club. You know, people with anxiety that don't want to look at each other. They don't want to talk. They've been isolated. What about a book club? People like reading, right? It's unlimited.
I even thought about having a show club.
What's that?
Like, what if you all watched the same show?
Yeah.
And you had a club where you talked about it and you were like, let's all make sure we watch season blah, blah, blah of something or this certain thing and then come together and watch it rather than watching a movie together and not talking about it. But, you know, oftentimes we're watching shows and we want to talk to people about them and what happened. And there's lots of things you can, you know, it's like a book club.
I'm so glad that you said this because what about my grandmother had a root cellar and all kinds of canned stuff. And she was very like particular about that. I'm a little girl, don't touch it because you could break the mason jar or whatever. But now there's no root cellars and we're buying that stuff in the store. And even though it takes a long time and I've never done canning before, I want to learn. And how beautiful is that? And with the price of food, there's one solution right there. There's the canning club. Mm-hmm. Right? Everybody pitches in their resources. They don't even have to be new mason jars. You know, you're going to find the deals. Like, look at all the organics that restaurants throw out and places that we were just talking about that earlier about, you know, getting that food to the place where it needs to go rather than in the compost. Somebody can use it. Look at the homelessness out there, right? So I know I go off, but it all comes back full circle, like your wreath. Mm-hmm. It's like canning club. What was the other thing that I thought of? It's like like
a book club or quilting bee or
quilting.
Well, like, you know, they used to have quilting bees where they'd all
or crocheting how. Oh my gosh!
In my I started a new thing called a creative collective in my school board with different arts teachers. And I'm a music teacher, but I know a lot of visual arts and drama dance teachers from some organizations. And whenever we meet with each other, we're always tasking. We're always organizing like a workshop, a conference, and we're never talking about our own creative practice. And in order, I think, to like fuel our own teaching practice, we have to fuel our own creative practice.
Yes.
And so I started this thing called a creative collective, and I invited some teachers to my house. And I was like, if I have 10 people, if I have 2 people, it'll be what it's supposed to be. So there was 4 of us all together. And I said, it's a potluck. Bring an art project, like bring something to do, or bring food. And we'll meet from 4 till 7 at my house right after school. And then you can go home and we'll have like munchies. We had tea. And then a bunch of the girls brought we did a watercolor activity. And it was like very open. Like there was no judgment. We were just having fun. And somebody else brought this activity with straws that we made these stars. And we just had a great time. And we've got the next like 5 months planned. From that one night.
You can have a cooking night. You can have a baking night.
Right.
And you don't even have to be good at it. You can learn as you go. Right.
And I think depending on how old you are, you know, I don't have young children anymore. Right. So you've got this time you've got time now, this, you know, for me, in my evenings and things like that. And I can just do it solo. But I really do feel like COVID made me think like I can't take these things for granted. And it also made me think that I want to gather with people differently.
You know what? I love my mind is just like so, and I can feel the energy of the people watching, and I can feel the future people watching. We have created something already, right? And that's beautiful. And then they've created, and then they've created. And if everybody hugged each other, the world would literally shift overnight.
But you know, the name of our gatherings is Butterfly Spirit, right? And when those butterflies like flutter its wings, like, you know, it's always new energy being released, right?
Yes.
It's just like, go, and make it ripple. So beautiful.
So that was the creation. I think we should do 2 songs each.
So do I.
Because but I just wanted to say, before I sing the water song, or before you sing the moon song, whoever goes first, it doesn't matter. I didn't want to forget this. When we were kids and there was no internet and we wanted to just go hang out, we just went outside and called on our friends. And I don't think it's too late for it to be that time again. We just need to disconnect from these electronic devices, because I'm the first to admit it's very entertaining. It's just a click away for anything. But it's so much better to just talk with Jen and create rather than watching a YouTube video. It's personal, you know, it's beautiful. So that's what we need to do. We need to call on each other, not just go to somebody else's house, because we just need to like send them an email or a text, or you run into an old friend and say, let's go for a coffee, and not text each other. Talk on the phone.
Yeah.
Make a plan and see each other in person, a real human being, because this virtual reality, it's part of it, but it's way too much, and it's too much on like that. We've lost that harmony and balance with that human connection. And even though through COVID it was really good and we could communicate through the internet, now it's time to get back into person to person visits and those sharing circles. And there's mechanics out there. What if there was just a bunch of guys that just wanted to smoke cigarettes and have coffee in the garage and just talk about cars? You know what I mean? This is not just for women.
No.
And kids too. How they can create stuff. They can have a craft night, you know? They can go play manhunt again. That's creation, you know? Riding bikes, a bike club, skateboarding club. It's unlimited, right? So would you like to do the first song, or would you like me to?
I can do it.
Okay, great.
Okay, so the song I'm going to sing is called The Grandmother Moon Song, and it is a gift from the Seneca Nation. The words are Nisa, 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 and Nisa means grandmother moon or winter moon, so I thought it was a perfect one for tonight. And Gaia Ho is the other word in the song, and it means the creator who is creation. Josie, this is the perfect song. The creator who is creation, because you are a creator, really, right? That fire in you, that fire that burns. All right, and so I could just. Nisa, 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 Gaia way ho, Gaia way ho. Nisa, 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 Kaya ho, Kaya ho, Nisa, 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 Kaya ho, Kaya ho, Nisa, 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 Kaya ho, Kaya ho. Miigwech.
It's so peaceful. You can feel that beautiful energy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So even though it's not morning, the Cherokee morning song was what I wanted to sing before, and I forgot. So I'm just gonna hold the words up if I have it. I should have it here. And I don't see it here, so I'll get it for the next time. A lot of our songs are vocables, and it's pretty easy. So, Cherokee morning song. It can get a little tricky when there's a few people singing it, because it's like they'll do the lead and then the other half of the group will jump in after that lead, so it's like an echo. So, but it's just me and some ancestors.
Thank you. That was beautiful, Miigwech. I love that song.
Cherokee morning song. And yours again was called?
Grandmother Moon song.
Great. So if you do one more and I do one more, then we
Yep.
end it at a good time and some closing
Mm-hmm.
words. Wow. I watch our video after and I'm just like, damn, we're good. Tonight, we're off the chart. We're off the chart. Because even listening to each other, I'm gonna be like, yes, we need to just create.
Yep, exactly. I thought I would sing the Mother Earth song.
Okay.
A few verses of that song. And the song is sung by many different people. I don't think it's necessarily an indigenous song. but I'm not sure. But I've heard many different recordings of different artists. And I'll just sing it. I'll put the words in a little bit after. I did put the Cherokee Morning Song in the chat.
Oh,
I had it.
thanks.
And this has many verses, but I'll just do a couple.
Okay.
Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel your heartbeat. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I hear your heartbeat. Wail, 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 wail. Father, we see you up in the sky. Father, give the sun so we see up high. Father, we see you up in the sky. Father, give the sun so we see up high. Wail, 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 wail. Grandmother, we see you in the moon. Grandmother, we know your blessings will come soon. Grandmother, we see you in the moon. Grandmother, we know your blessings will come soon. Wail, 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 wail. Sisters, we see you up in the stars. Sisters, you guide us wherever you are. Sisters, we see you up in the stars. Sisters, you guide us wherever you are. Wail, 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 wail.
That's nice.
To remind us about all those elements of nature, of earth, of creation that we can think about and honor. Slummiquatch.
I put it up there. It might not be exactly, but anybody that's on their phone can screenshot it or like just freeze it and zoom in and look at it. When I learned to sing that, it's different. It's faster. And that's what I like about a lot of these songs is it's not the same and you can learn it in different ways. So the way that I learned it, it was very fast, high energy. So I think it's the same song, but it might be altered. So it's like wail, 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 hey, oh, wail, 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 wail. Wail, 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 hey, oh, mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I hear your heartbeat. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I hear your heartbeat. Wail, and like that. So it's interesting because like when you sang it, I'm waiting for you to do that. And then I was like, oh, it's like different. It's like gentle and like a fun energy. It's different.
Yeah, I've done that. I've sung with women who sing it the faster way too. It is a different energy, but it's just as magical. So
oh yes,
right.
Okay, so I was going to sing a water song, but this one popped out. So I'm gonna try. I haven't sang it like a whole lot. The Mohawk Love Song. So you know what? I'll take a picture. This is how good we are, everybody. Jen, would you mind typing it out? Like, you could do it later. I'm going to send it to you.
You can send it to me. Thanks.
And then I will sing it. Okay. All right. I just sent it to you. All right. Let's try this. Me tie, 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 tie. goes 2 more times after that, but I think that we like to go like 30, 45 minutes, an hour, go with the flow.
Well, it
Around
is the
there.
solstice, so you had to stay on a bit longer for that.
Yeah. So I have a question. If there's 24 hours in a day and it's the longest day of the year,
Oh, geez.
we'll have an answer for you in 2 weeks.
What do you want to know?
How is it the longest day of the year?
Because, sorry, it's the longest night. Shortest day, longest night. I said it wrong.
Oh, so it's like
The longest
less
night.
sun?
The longest night.
So
So that's the least sun
Okay.
and the most moon, the most night.
Okay.
Sorry, I said that wrong then.
I remembered and then I forgot, like from years ago. I was like,
That's
wait
okay.
a minute. Okay, so I guess that's a wrap.
Yes.
Thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you to Jody. And thank you to Andrea and all the grandmothers that are part of Grandmother Voice. I'm very happy to share with you. And as we go through, the holidays, just feel what you feel, because we don't have to like bypass those feelings. It's really important to honor yourself and what you feel. And if somebody, isn't understanding or compassionate, that's also okay to accept them for wanting to try to help you navigate through this if you are having a hard time. So if you have some sage, or you can sit by the water, or even like light a fire or a candle, do that self-care, because it is a time of introspection. And I'm very happy to share what I have. And I'm the first one to admit that it is a very hard time for me, as I'm missing my mother. So even though she passed away a long time ago, sometimes it hits me really hard, and I just allow the tears to flow, because like the elders say, you're washing your eyeballs. So, we're all going to get through it together. Unfortunately, suffering is part of the human experience, but it's just really important to be kind and gentle with each other these times, and drive safe. And till next time.
Happy winter solstice. And see you soon. Mama P.
Bye.